Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome
to the Talking Disney podcast,
where imagination leads the way, memories are waiting to be made, and every moment is just the beginning of a great big story. Join us as we discuss parks, films, history, and magic, one chat at a time. Here are your hosts, Jason, Cody, and James.
And welcome to episode 206 of the Talking Disney podcast. I'm here once again with my co-hosts Cody and James. What's going on, guys?
Not much. What's happening?
Howdy hey, howdy ho.
We are back. It's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been a lot longer than that.
Yeah, it does. It does. That's why I wanted to get one in before James left for his trip. So otherwise it'd have been 3 weeks. But yeah, here we are, episode 206. I think we got a good one tonight, hopefully. We're going to hear a little bit from Cody.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about this trip.
About why he couldn't record last week.
Especially some of the comments I saw Lucy put on her Facebook post a little bit ago. I'm like, oh, this is...
Sounded like it was the trip of a lifetime.
Yeah. Making me a little curious. What happened?
Guess she had a good time. What can I say?
That's good. That's good.
I did notice on the picture of her on Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, where's Cody?
Cody is missing. You should have photoshopped yourself in there. Yeah. Threw your head on somebody else.
I think I can take care of that.
I don't have to pretend.
I can find the old picture of Cody on there when he's scratching in his chair. You can Photoshop that face on there.
Yeah.
When he was like 12 or 13 or 15 or whatever it was. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Nice hat, Cody.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, you guys are matching. I never bought that hat.
No,
I bought this gray one with the blue D on it. And there's another one at the Disney store, but the letter D is so small. It's like almost like a wool looking gray, but it's like tiny. So
you're not into it too much if you got the small D, huh?
I was trying to be family friendly.
I could just
What
see.
are you talking about?
I could see James just trying to hold back there.
Jason's like, I need the big D.
Exactly.
If it's too small, I ain't into it.
Exactly. I was trying not to say that, but James took care of that for me. So
Big D is life.
Oh boy, yeah. All
I
right,
don't know what you guys are talking
If it ain't
about.
the big D, I don't want it.
And now Cody's getting involved. We're gonna have to put an adult warning on this.
It's okay. On
podcast.
YouTube, I do mark that this video was not made for kids.
Okay, good. All right. Well, let's. Do we want to talk a little bit of news first, or let Cody talk first about his trip?
Let's get the news out of the way.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. I did want to start with last time we recorded, we had talked about they announced D23 ticket sales, when they were going to occur, etc. That has passed now, and we did buy some tickets. I was going to let Cody talk about that since he was the one who actually, for us two, me and him, got on. And then luckily Tyler wasn't far behind for Tyler and James. If it was up to me and James, we might not have got tickets or got where we wanted to be. So, and we'll share why here in a second, as soon as Cody's done talking. So tell us about the D23 ticket purchasing experience, Cody.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you listen to our last episode, we talked about the announcement of the D23 ticket sale information, when they were going on sale, who was eligible to buy, what the price points were for the different ticket types. All that's on our last episode. And we had said that we all, the three of us, plus some of our family, we were all planning on going. And all of that, of course, was contingent on how the buying process went the following day, which we're about to talk about here. Because it's not a guarantee for D23 these days that you will get tickets or the ticket that you want. So the waiting room for the online queue opened up 24 hours early. Yeah, 24 hours early. And I don't know if we did it while we were recording or after we were done with recording, but at least James and I, maybe all three of us, jumped in the online waiting room, right? Which really has no advantage. It's a waiting room. It is not your place in line. So going into the waiting room early doesn't secure you a shorter wait or a better placement when the online queue eventually opens the next morning.
I think the main thing for the waiting room is you don't have to fumble around right before the ticket sales open, where you're already in the room. Basically, they open the door and you're allowed to walk in.
And I think it also helps the website and or like the server from not being flooded with a whole bunch of traffic an hour before. Because if this many people in front of you is any indicator of how many people were actually online trying to buy these tickets, that's a lot of traffic to hit a site all at once. So them opening it up early allows the opportunity for people to kind of trickle in. But I do believe that I'm sure there was still a significant amount of people that jumped on, within an hour before the tickets actually went on sale. So the next morning, I'm already in the waiting room on my phone from the previous night, and I get to work, and I kind of strategically, or not randomly, but at different intervals, I'm logging in and getting into the waiting room on different devices or different browsers. Now, we had talked about last week where there was that language that said if you try to get in the queue on a different device, you might lose your spot in line, right? And I had mentioned that I think that means once the queue opens, if you try to log in on a different device or a different browser, once you've already in the queue, that may push you to the end of the line. So what I did was I was using different devices or different browsers, but I had logged on to all of those before the queue opened. So I was in the waiting room before 11 a.m. for Jason and I and 10 a.m. for James before that point. So all of my devices and browsers were in the waiting room, and I had jumped on all of them at different times. So I had my phone going, and I had Chrome going on my work computer. I had Firefox going on my work computer. So two different browsers there. And then I have an iPad at work as well, and I had that going on Safari. So, and when 11 o'clock hit and the queue opened, because the idea is, like I just mentioned, being in the waiting room early didn't secure you a spot in line. Once the queue opens, anybody that's in the waiting room, so they say, gets randomly placed in. Yeah, Jason's pulling up a picture here of all my devices there. I got the two browsers up on my computer, the iPad, and obviously I'm taking the picture on my phone, but I had it going on my phone too. So all of those different devices supposedly just get shuffled along with everybody else in the waiting room, and everybody just kind of lands in a random spot. And then after, it wasn't immediate, but I think once everybody kind of gets in, your queue page, your queue waiting page eventually kind of populates and says however many users are ahead of you in line. It doesn't really give you
a couple minutes.
Yeah, I think it took a couple minutes for me as well. It didn't really give you, it just said wait times may be longer than an hour, but I feel like in past years it's given more of an approximation on time once you got below an hour. But anything over an hour, it just said your wait is more than an hour. This year it didn't do that, and maybe that's for a different was for a different ticket sale. Could have been for an After Dark event or something in the past. I'm not entirely sure if it was D23 or not. But once everything kind of updated, at least for all of my devices, this is where everything kind of shook out, which I thought was kind of interesting. So my phone, which I had started the night before in the waiting room, my phone told me that I had 87.5 thousand people ahead of me. What, for that device, where that device landed in the randomized queue, 87,500 people ahead of me. The next highest was Chrome on my computer, which I think is the one that I did second. I should have wrote down which one, the order, but it doesn't entirely matter. Chrome on my work computer said 82,000 people in front of me. The Firefox browser on my work computer said 70,000 people. And then the iPad that I had at work said 5.7 thousand. And I was like, hey, that's, considering all the other ones are 70, 82, or 87,000, I'll take 5.7.
Right, especially since I've got the text right here in front of me. I was at 81,772.
And you were only running one device.
I was only running it was on my phone.
Yeah.
I was using Safari.
Mm-hmm.
James, I don't know if you remember yours, but I've got it up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't remember.
You were at 45,977.
Yep.
And I know you were on the road, right? Heading to like a doctor's office or something.
Yeah, I was all over the place that day. It was nuts.
And then I have Tyler's too. I don't know if you wrote that down, Cody.
I didn't write his down. He and I were texting about it, but
yeah, he was at 7.7. So he had the second lowest.
Yes.
Besides your 5.7.
I think he was running two devices. He had his phone and an iPad, or I think maybe it was a laptop, but he had two devices. So, and the way everything kind of shook out is, between Jason and I, he and I were getting tickets for the two of us, plus his son Calvin, because there was a maximum of 6 tickets you could buy, regardless of ticket type. And Jason and I had decided that we were going to go for 2 days, and there isn't a 2-day pass, so you have to buy a Friday pass and a Saturday pass, or a Sunday pass. But we had decided we were going to go Friday and Saturday, and so that counts as 2 tickets for one person. And so between me, Jason, and his son Calvin, that was 6 tickets right there, because we were all doing Friday and Saturday. So then that meant that neither me or Jason could attempt to get tickets for James if we got into the store before James, which is what we had done 2 years ago. I think 2 years ago you could purchase up to 8 tickets. But
yeah, I forgot what it was, but we were also doing the 3 days, so
we
that
all did a
counted
3-day,
as one,
which just counts as one, which made things simpler.
Because there was 6 of us going. Well, actually, there was more, because we went for all 3 days. Lucy was there, Teresa was there, and Marcia and Kaylee came. But Marcia and Kaylee only did Friday,
right?
Or Friday and Saturday.
So
No, just Friday.
Just Friday, yeah. Because Saturday they went to the parks.
Yep.
So. Yeah, it was.
So it must have been 8.
Must have been more, because that would be 8 if for all 6 of us. Because I think James got in first, so he bought them all. Because I remember
he bought them all.
They were all sent to his house. Mm-hmm. So one of these years I'll get in first.
It is just crazy how fast these things go.
Right.
I mean, while I was in there, I did kind of look around at what some of the availability was, and those 3-day tickets were going quick. It seemed like what was different, and I can't say with 100% certainty because I didn't really look at it 2 years ago, but it seems like they had certain sections of the Anaheim Convention Center for those evening panels. Well, certain sections
the Honda Center.
At the Honda Center.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Convention.
Okay, sorry. Yes, the Honda Center, the evening panels at the Honda Center. Certain sections of seats within the Honda Center were reserved. Like if you were buying a single day ticket, whether it be Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, you could only choose seats in these specific sections, whether it be the 400 upper side or down on the floor. And then if you were buying the 3-day pass, you could only choose seats and in the allotted sections that you were allowed to buy seats in. So I think that limited severely the number of 3-day passes that were available. I don't know if they did that 2 years ago or if it was just a free for all. I can't speak to that entirely, but it did seem like the 3-day passes went quicker this year than they did 2 years ago, especially if you weren't wanting to pay the extra to sit on the floor. If you wanted to be up higher because they're significantly cheaper, those seem to go pretty quickly. But I was able to get in fairly quickly.
I didn't feel like paying over $1,000.
No. No. If that were the case, I wouldn't be going.
I would put that toward a Magic Key.
Right.
So
I did get in fairly quickly. I think I was all said and done within 30 minutes.
I can tell you, I'm looking at the text now at 11:18. For us, it opened at 11.
Yeah.
You said you were in.
Okay.
And then
so
at
I got
11,
into the store to buy the tickets within 18 minutes.
At 11:25, James texted, says Tyler has his and mine. So by 11:25, we all had tickets.
Now I think Tyler got in within a few minutes after I did because he and I were texting back and forth. But like I said, I spent a little bit longer in the store just kind of looking at things. And I also had to go through the seat selection process for our Friday tickets. And then I had to do it again for our Saturday tickets, where the tickets Tyler bought, he was just doing the Anaheim Convention Center tickets. And so he didn't have to do the seat selection. So he could basically just say, add to cart these 1-day passes or whatever, and then just check out. Yeah. So his process was a little bit quicker.
If I remember correctly, we got the same seats for both nights, right?
They're not the exact same seats.
Oh,
we are in the same section, but we're like on Saturday, we're like 1 or 2 rows higher up.
Oh yeah. I just pulled it up. Yeah. Friday it's row P and Saturday row R.
Okay. Yeah.
But they're the same exact seat numbers, 14
so
through 16.
It's PQR. So we're two rows further up or back, however you want to look at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we are by an aisle. We aren't like sandwiched in the middle.
Oh, good.
So
good.
That's good.
Yeah. So I was trying to look for things like that, to, easy access. And I don't like being sandwiched in the middle of like a 50-person row, where, especially because when we were there 2 years ago, there isn't a lot of room. If somebody needs to get by, like everybody's got to stand up, right?
And 2 years ago, we were pretty high. I think there was 1 or 2 rows behind us, maybe 1 row, and it was the back wall.
Yeah,
to the top of the.
So we're a little bit further down this year, but and we have almost a straight shot.
Okay.
So we are the furthest away, but we have a direct view
of the stage,
and the giant screens and everything. So.
Cool.
We'll see how that compares. We won't have to like sit at an angle or have our head at an angle.
Yeah, there was a possibility because the tickets were the same price. I was like, maybe I won't be going to the panels, but I want to have the option to choose to go. But I think Calvin really wants to go to the panels. So obviously I'll go with Calvin if you don't go. But there was a bit of me that I was just getting the panels just in case, because come July, I'll be like, man, I wish I would have got the panels.
Right.
So at least we have the option now. And then hopefully Disney Plus does like they did last time with the Legend ceremony, and then I can just watch that on Disney Plus. So
I'd be surprised if they didn't do that again this year. But
yeah.
So yeah, we all got tickets at the end of the day. Luckily, me and Tyler were able to get in and get those purchased fairly early on in the morning, because if if we had waited till, I mean, I think we still could have done it.
Yeah.
By the time you got in, Jason, but
I got in at 12:57.
and did you go through the process and
Yeah,
look at
yeah,
seat
I
availability?
looked around. There were still, the seats were limited. There was, patches of 3, 4, 5 here and there, but we would have been stuck in the middle of someone, of a row. It was just I think the 3-day passes were gone by that point
I think so.
when I got in. So it would have had to been individual tickets, which we were doing anyways. But I think it would have took a couple more minutes just to, look around and get the seats. We probably wouldn't have been, I only looked at Friday seats. I didn't look at Saturday. So we might've been in a totally different area for Saturday over Friday.
It is nice that we are in the same section, because you had to do the seat selection differently for each day, where the 3-day pass, you do the seat selection once and those are your same seats for all 3 nights. But since we didn't do that pass this time.
Yeah. So it was, I mean, I probably would have still got them, but it would have been a little more work, I think, and a lot less choice.
Yeah.
I don't know if James, did you see what time you would have got in, or did you just once Cody got him?
Yeah, once Cody had your guys's and Tyler had mine, I just kind of gave up.
I was just curious on how long it would take, and I was following social media too, like those hours, Facebook, and there was people having some issues. They were getting kicked out.
Yeah, I had seen some of that.
Yeah, and they started at 4,000. They got in right away, and then they got kicked out of the room. And now they said, "No, I'm at 85,000." So I felt for those people.
Considering I was like at 5.7 thousand. If I had gotten in at 18 minutes and then while I'm trying to do it, it kicks me out and then puts me at 80 something thousand, I would have been pissed.
Yeah, might have just shut the phone down and be like, I guess I'm going in 2028.
Yeah.
So, but I still get emails. There are still tickets available, but it's even slimmer limited than when I got in 2 hours later. So,
and I think they have like the afternoon passes available, which was new for this year.
Yeah.
To at least get you onto like the convention floor, you can see the exhibits and the booths and do shopping or whatever you want to do. I mean, if you wanted to go, I mean, there is an option to go. You can at least say you went, but it's not. Right. I mean, you're not going to get a 3-day pass to the panels at this point or anything like that. So,
and now our next step is waiting till they release all the panels, and then the making the choices for those, or your preferences, and then seeing what we get. So,
yeah, and we have a timeline on that, I think. Maybe not. Let's see.
You sent it to me. I thought
on July 13th, the convention center badges are going to get mailed to the ticket purchasers, or at least that's going to be the start of when they start sending them out. I know 2 years ago they were kind of being sent out in batches.
I think they had some snafus too, where they paused it for a minute and then
something happened. I mean, I know for the 3 of us and the rest of our group 2 years ago in 2024, we were getting down to the wire, wondering if they were actually going to show up in the mail before James left to go to California.
Yeah, I think you got them like early that week, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was close.
Was tight. Yeah.
We were starting to consider. I was starting to consider calling to say, what happens if we don't get our tickets? What's the process? Are we?
I think I actually called.
You might have,
a few times, because it was getting ridiculously close, and I can't remember. I have to go back and listen to, because I think we talked about it, but I think they gave me some like stupid, like I just remember
you got
being
2 different
really
answers
irate.
from 2 different people.
Yeah, I think I got something like that. So,
well, there was something about like, if you don't get them, you can go to like Will Call and they can hook you up with a badge or something.
Yeah, something.
But then I was wondering, it's like, well, I'm not getting in late until the evening before. Will Call that day is already going to be closed, so now I have to deal with Will Call. Because then they were saying because you do all the transferring, right? That there was the possibility that potentially James couldn't pick up my pass, even though he was the purchaser, because he had transferred ownership of it to me.
Right.
So there was all kinds of questions. Luckily, James got them in the mail and everything worked out. But so that begins July 13th. On July 20th, the Anaheim Convention Center reservation selection process opens. So at that point, we'd have to know what the panels are, because that's what you're selecting, is what panels you'd like to get basically like a guaranteed seat for. So that opens on July 20th. So I would assume probably a week before that. So maybe around the 13th, we'd get the schedule for the panels, would be my guess. That they give you at least a week, maybe 5 days to look over all the information, what the panels are, what the giveaways and stuff are, because you can make like the reservations for the certain giveaways or whatever, which I've never actually won any reservations. Both events I've done this in the past, so I don't know how any of it works, but
Yeah, they always pick on you.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if it's going to be a third time in a row.
Yeah, we'll see.
Cody Jackson. We'll give you the Pixar ball.
Yeah. I think I did get one of those either 2 years ago or the time before that, but
Yeah,
I didn't
I'm
claim
actually,
it.
because I'll probably, Calvin will probably have to work that day, so I'll probably be logged in under his account and my account to try to do them, and I'll probably take the day off work that day, just so I'm sitting here at the computer.
It makes sense to try to do different ones for each of
Yes,
you.
because if it's like last year, you can take up to a certain amount of guests with your with your whatever reservation, I guess you can call it.
Yeah. So that selection process opens on the 20th and it closes on the 24th of July. And then on August 5th, I assume I'll get an email because it says Honda Center presentation tickets digitally distributed to ticket purchasers, which I know James, passed along our Honda Center QR codes 2 years ago to us for us to store in like our digital wallets or whatever. So that's kind of the timeline that we can look forward to going forward. So nothing really happening until July. The badge transfer window closes on July 10th.
Yeah, I know I've done mine. Calvin still needs to do his, but it was very, very simple.
Yeah.
So yeah, matter of fact, there's, if you want to look at, that's on my wallet from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
For
the Honda Center.
For the Honda Center.
So yeah, we're all going to D23.
Including, is it Tyler's first time?
No.
Okay.
Tyler went with me for the first time. It was both of our first times in 2020.
Okay.
2.
Okay. So then we have one first
because
timer.
that was the time Lucy and I planned on going together. And then she had a brother that got married that weekend and she was in the wedding party and I wasn't.
That's right.
And so I took Tyler, and Tyler used her ticket and everything. So
yeah. And then it was my first time last in 2024, and now it'll be Calvin's first time in 2026. So
this will be my third D23.
Yeah.
And Tyler will have Hannah.
Yes.
So it'll be Hannah's first time.
First time. So we'll have 2 first timers. All right.
Yep. And this will be my third as well, I believe.
Cool.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. All right. Let's see. What else do we got? Did we want to? I'm going to mention this really quick. We don't have to spend too much time on it, but I did want to talk about it. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge timeline will soon expand at Disneyland. It says beginning April 29th, 2026, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland Park will expand its timeline to include more Star Wars eras. Darth Vader, Leia Organa, Han Solo, and Luke Skywalker will arrive on Batuu, joining other beloved characters roaming the Outer Rim outpost. Rey and the Resistance will continue their fight against the First Order in the Resistance camp. And musical selections from John Williams' Star Wars film scores will be played throughout the land. So
I think it'll be cool to hear like real Star Wars music
Yeah.
in Star Wars land.
I know, that I remember that being a big complaint when it first opened, that it was Star Wars, but it wasn't Star Wars that average people would recognize.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. I just watched a special on Star Wars and George Lucas. I'm thinking John Williams and George Lucas, and I combined their names.
It's like, what special was that? Doesn't sound very accurate to me.
It was called, let's see, Empire of Dreams, the story of the Star Wars trilogy. It's on Disney Plus. Very good watch, especially if you're a big Star Wars fan. If you're just an average casual Star Wars fan, it was still very, very interesting. You get a lot of behind the scenes stuff and things that almost happened that didn't happen. That the third one, episode 6, actually wasn't it. The name wasn't going to be Return of the Jedi for a while. It was Revenge of the Jedi, up until like the day or two before it was released. So there was actually posters printed that said Revenge of the Jedi. And later I found out those were sent out to like Star Wars fan club members as a gift.
Interesting.
So if you got one of those posters, you got one that doesn't have the title. It has Revenge.
That's probably worth a
could
nice
be worth
penny.
some money. Yeah. George Lucas never liked Revenge of the Jedi, from what I heard. It was like the studio that wanted it
against what the Jedi are supposed to stand for.
That's exactly what he said. He said the Jedi aren't there to get revenge. It's their return. So
yeah.
And then because of the Mandalorian and Grogu coming out in May, I've decided I'm going through all the Star Wars movies in order of release, not chronological. So I finished the first trilogy, and I finished the second trilogy. So episode 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going on to the next one, but I think the next one is actually in release time is The Force Awakens. So,
yeah.
So I've done 6. I think I have 5 or 6 left. So interesting. I haven't watched them in a while. So yeah, that's what's happening.
Between the first trilogy, like the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, which trilogy do you prefer as a trilogy?
For nostalgia purposes, the first trilogy, episodes 4, 5, and 6. But 1, 2, and 3, I really love number 3. I just watched that one yesterday, and that one is so action. I mean, they're all action packed, but something about it, we get at the end, you're getting the birth of Darth Vader. And you don't see a suit for the first time, but it is for the first time, because you saw it in the first trilogy, but it was when he became Darth Vader, and just so far that might be one of my favorite ones. But the first trilogy for sure, just for nostalgia purposes, and without the first trilogy, obviously we're not getting the second trilogy. So, yeah, it's good. It's been years since I've seen them, so it's kind of fun to go back and watch them.
I think episode 3 was re-released in theaters last year for like a special anniversary.
Probably, yeah.
Whatever anniversary it was celebrating.
Let me see when it came out. Somebody can keep talking. I got to pull up this list here.
But Lucy and I went to go see it in theaters because it was not something I saw in theaters. I didn't grow up with Star Wars in that sense, so I didn't really sit down and watch all of the like episodes 1 through 6. I didn't really sit down and watch from start to finish until after I had graduated high school. Right. Because I was really excited for episode 7, episode 7, The Force Awakens. And I really wanted to watch it. And I was like, I can't go in to the 7th installment of the film franchise without really understanding the story. So I had
if you'd have watched
all the movies and watched them.
Episode 3 came out in 2005, so it would have been the 20th anniversary last year. So
okay, so that's what we went. We went and saw the movie for the 20th anniversary, And it was really cool being able to see it like in theaters on a big screen, because I've seen it before just at home or on Disney Plus or whatever, but being able to see it in theaters on a big screen with the sound system and everything.
Right. And I pulled this off of a Star Wars website, so I'm fairly sure it's accurate. If you were to watch them in storyline order, not when they were released, so chronologically, you would have to go episode 1, 2, 3. So the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and then Solo, a Star Wars story. And I'm just talking about movies now. I'm not talking about the television shows, cartoon series.
Right.
You have to go Solo, a Star Wars story, and then Rogue One, a Star Wars story, and then back to the original trilogy, Star Wars: A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. And then it's The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is coming out in May. And then it's the last prequel, The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. So that would be the chronological Star Wars order in the Star Wars timeline.
Yeah.
But I'm watching them in release order. I'm fine with that. So,
because Rogue One is pretty cool, because you can watch Rogue One and Rogue One just rolls right into episode 4. I mean, the way Rogue One ends and how episode 4 begins, it's like, you got a little bit of overlap there,
right.
and it just rolls right into it.
Right.
Rogue One was fantastic.
I didn't appreciate it when it came out, and I think part of it was because I didn't truly understand the story, like the lore, what was happening in that story, in that timeline before Rogue One, and then the rest of the story beyond that. But being a little bit more familiar with Star Wars and the kind of the Skywalker saga, right? I watched it again last year after we went and saw episode 3 in theaters. I was watching a few different Star Wars movies on Disney Plus, and I rewatched Rogue One, and I was like, yeah, it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah. Yep. So I think that one's, I've got The Force Awakens and then Rogue One. So we will see. I'm hoping to finish it before The Mandalorian and Grogu. I think that's doable. It's only like 7 movies, I think. So
I'm pretty positive I saw Force Awakens in the theater with James.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
Yeah, it came out in, where is it at?
2016 or 17?
2015.
15, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well...
Because Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and then The Rise of Skywalker was 15, 17, and then 19. It was 2 years between each one. So, but yeah, this all started me watching them because I saw that great documentary on Disney Plus. So I was like, I gotta watch it.
What was the name of the documentary again?
It was called. Let me go back to my
I gotta
diary
download
here.
Some stuff so I have things to watch while I'm.
Empire of Dreams: The Story of the Star Wars Trilogy.
I have seen that documentary also, and it is.
And it's not a new. The documentary was made in 2004, so it's not a new one. It's been out there for a while. They just put it up on Disney. It's currently available on Disney Plus. I don't know when they did it, but it was originally a bonus disc in the DVD box set of the original Star Wars trilogy when they released it in 2004. So
cool. I'm downloading it right now.
All right.
It's worth the watch if you enjoy Star Wars.
Yeah. All right. What else we got? Cody, did you want to talk about Walt Disney World real quick?
Sure. It's been overall kind of a slow couple of weeks for news, but some of the news that have come out within like the last week is some news regarding the Muppets retheme of the Rock and Roller Coaster attraction over in Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World in Florida. They have announced, that the attraction will be reopening on May 26th, so next month. About 5 weeks from now, it's the attraction is reopening, and so they did a fairly quick turnaround on it. I'm not sure how different the inside will be. I mean, there isn't a lot going on. on the inside of the attraction when you're actually on the roller coaster. The coaster goes through a couple of set pieces, and there are kind of like some set pieces that you kind of fly by, which they could elect to keep some of those the same or tweak them slightly, or maybe they change some of them out entirely, but it's not so heavily themed that this takes a long time to do. So luckily it's only been closed for a few months and it's already preparing to reopen. So it is reopening on May 26th. And they also announced the set list that will be featured on the attraction. So they announced 5 different songs that you can hear when you ride this ride. So it's kind of going to be like Mission Breakout, or here at Disneyland where you get a different song every time you ride, or
I put them up on the screen for you, Cody.
Perfect. Or Cosmic Rewind over in Epcot over in Florida. You get a different song out of however many songs that, you know, the list is for that attraction. But yeah, you've got 5 songs right now. And then I did see something also after this was released that the Muppets were also working on a couple of bonus tracks as well. So it seems like they might be throwing in a couple of more. I don't know if they will be in the same kind of randomization or if it's going to be like, oh, one in every like 500 rides, you might hear this song. I don't know how they'll do it, but it did say that there would be a couple more songs as well. But right now, what we know is you have song 2.
Great song.
And that's going to be performed by the Electric Mayhem.
Great band.
You also have Born to Be Wild, performed by the Electric Mayhem and featuring Camilla the Chicken.
Another great song.
You have Love Roller Coaster with the Electric Mayhem featuring Jennifer Hudson and Questlove.
Fits the theme really well.
You also have Rock Till You Drop. That one's also the Electric Mayhem. These are all Electric Mayhem. I guess I'll just say that. That one's featuring Def Leppard.
Super excited about that one.
Yeah.
So glad they've got Def Leppard in there. That's awesome.
I think it could have been cool if they had featured Aerosmith on one of the songs, but
since it used to be their attraction.
Since it used to be their ride, I'm sure there will be some sort of nod to the previous version of the attraction somewhere in the queue or something. You know, the Imagineers like to leave some sort of a nod to the previous iteration of a ride or a land when they redo a space.
Maybe one of the scenes you pass will be the Electric Mayhem dressed up as Aerosmith.
Hey, there you go.
There. That's an idea.
The last song on this list is Walking on Sunshine, and it's going to feature Kelly Clarkson. So,
which seems a little out of place.
That one does seem the most out of place.
But still a good song. It's still a great song. I'm not knocking the song by any means. I like that song. It just seems a little out of place.
It doesn't seem as rock forward.
Yep.
I mean, they could make it rock forward, right? But we'll see. I mean,
I have seen Kelly Clarkson do some.
Oh, Kelly Clarkson is a great singer.
She's done some songs that aren't in her genre, like on her show and stuff.
Yeah,
she'll perform them, and they sound great. I mean, it's so her like ability to, I don't want to say mimic other genres, but I think it'll be good. We'll see though. But
yeah, it's going to be great.
I mean, I've seen her cover a multitude.
That's the word
of
I was looking for.
songs.
Cover. Yeah.
And then the original artist will be like, I think that's Kelly's song now.
Yeah.
You know, like, because Kelly Clarkson just does it so well.
Yeah.
So it's, in her own right, Kelly Clarkson is a phenomenal artist. But yeah, it did that song for one, and then also featuring Kelly Clarkson. That together felt the most out of place on that list.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm sure it'll all be great. I'm very excited to ride it. Rock and Roller Coaster is my favorite attraction in Hollywood Studios, potentially in all of Walt Disney World. But so I'm very excited. I will be riding this new version when we are there in September. So I will be excited to see what song we get. If I can make it work, I'd like to get on it twice, but we'll see. We're only going for 2 days, and we're hitting all 4 parks in the 2 days. So
Could be tough.
So
Yeah. All right. Did we want to look at these trailers, or do we want to hold off on those and just talk and just say they were out?
yeah, let's just maybe say that
All right.
they were released.
A couple new trailers a few new trailers have been released the last couple of weeks. I'll start with the one that came out the longest. The Devil Wears Prada 2 final trailer came out like 15 or 17 days ago, right after we recorded. James is excited about that one because that's one of his drafted movies. So he's hoping it's going to do very well. And then I think on the same day, the first Dog Stars trailer came out, which I think is it a Searchlight or a 20th Century Studio?
It's 20th Century.
20th Century. Okay.
Yeah.
And Cody has that one on his draft. That was his last pick.
Yep.
He was kind of picking he had the slim pickings because he had the last pick of the draft. But it looks interesting.
It's like a dystopian,
Yes.
post-apocalyptic type of genre.
I will likely contribute to Cody's totals there because I'll go see that one in the theater.
Because you're trying to see all of them.
All of them, yeah.
Your own personal quest.
I've messed up because I haven't got to see what's the last one that just came out. Now is it Now You See Me Now You Don't 2 or something like that? It's like a sequel, and I never saw the first one. So I missed that one. Psycho Killer's never made it to the theater in our area. So I couldn't see it. So I may be one short. We'll see. But
there was that one that we debated on including in the list or not. Now I can't remember
what it was,
but it's on Disney Plus now.
Oh, okay. I'll have to check it out then.
It had like an international release.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't remember the name of it though.
I'm going to see if I can look it up while we're talking.
Yeah. So those 3 trailers, if you just go to YouTube, you can find them. I think,
and watch the trailer for Dog Stars because I think it actually does look interesting, and B, I don't know if it'll be a sleeper hit or not, but it's got a lot of big actors and actresses in it. I think it has the potential to be really good, but I think a lot of that will depend on how well it gets promoted. So
I think the next one to come out though is Devil Wears Prada 2, right? The next big one. Isn't that like May 2nd or something?
Yeah, that's May 2nd.
Is it that soon?
Yeah, it's coming. And then later that month will be Mandalorian and Grogu. So that's why they got the final ones released.
This is what it was. It was The Testament of Anne Lee.
That's right.
With Amanda Seyfried.
Yes. And that's on Disney Plus now, you said?
It's on Disney Plus.
I might check it out.
So we debated about putting it on the list because it didn't seem like it got like a film festival release, and then it was released in the international markets, but it was like it wasn't getting like a general release in the States.
Here, yeah.
So we didn't really include it on our list of
probably a good call.
Draft movies, but
yeah.
It is now on Disney Plus if you wanted to watch it.
Okay. Well, there we go. All right. So, yeah, those 3 trailers are coming out or came out for the movies coming out soon. Check it out. Got a pretty big summer of movies with Devil Wears Prada 2. You got Mandalorian. You got Spider-Man. You got Toy Story 5. You got Moana. What did I miss in there? August. You got Super Troopers 3. Nobody picked that one. Technically falls under Disney because I think is it Searchlight or 20th Century, one of those two. So
yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the news we got, I think, unless you guys got anything that came up. And we'll give Cody the mic.
Yeah.
I feel like I've already had the mic.
You had it for a minute, but it's been a while since you had a Cody Disneyland trip report. So
It's true.
let's hear about your trip.
So yes, I did finally get back to Disneyland. Lucy and I went. We haven't been to Disneyland since last July, before our Magic Keys expired. They expired at the beginning of August, like August 12th or 13th or something like that.
Yeah, because you guys activated them for the D23 trip, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we haven't been since last July. So we were really looking forward to going back. I had talked about a while ago that Lucy and I, when we were in Vegas for Thanksgiving with the family, we went to Costco and Costco was doing like a discounted ticket deal for Disneyland. It was a 2-day park hopper with Lightning Lane multi-pass. And so we bought those. And so we each had a 2-day park hopper with Lightning Lane. And then we also did an after dark event. We went to the first Disney Channel night, not first ever, but first for the run of the 3 Disney Channel nights that they were doing this year, which was on Sunday, April 12th. So we flew out to into Long Beach. We flew out to Long Beach a week ago, last Sunday. Yeah, it was great. Bit of a rocky takeoff from Salt Lake City. It was very windy that morning. So we had a few bumps trying to get up to altitude leaving Salt Lake City on Monday. But once we got up to altitude, everything was fine. Quick flight. I mean, it was like an hour and a half at best. Touchdown in Long Beach. And it was not warm. It was cool. It was in like the low 60s. Midday when we got there on Sunday. They had rain like the day before and that morning. So there was a little bit of a cold front that had moved in. And so it was definitely on the cooler side for being down there, which I wasn't complaining about. It gives me an excuse to buy another sweater or Spirit jersey or something like that because I neglected to pack one.
Oops,
dang it. That's the trick.
Yeah, just don't pack any clothes. And when you get down there, you got to buy a bunch. Pack the clothes you're wearing that day, or you're wearing them, so you don't have to pack them. And then, oops, I forgot to pack clothes.
Gonna have to buy 3 T-shirts because we're gonna be here for 3 days.
Yep. Make sure you pack underwear though, because they don't sell that inside Disneyland. You have to go down to
Only
Target.
kitty underwear.
Yeah.
They only sell little boy and little girl underwear. But so no, we got there. We got to the room or to the hotel, I think just before 1, maybe a little after 1, somewhere around there. We stayed at the Anaheim Hotel, and the room wasn't ready, so we dropped off our luggage and we went over to downtown Disney for a few hours. We got some lunch. We went over to Black Tap, the burger and wing crazy shake place.
Which have?
Lucy and I shared a smokehouse burger, Angus burger, something like that. Very good. It's like the most expensive burger they have on their menu. It was like $26 for the burger.
Wow.
But it was good. And we shared a shake. And we went through downtown Disney, we went through World of Disney, looked at some merch. We may have bought a few things. Eventually we got the text that the room was ready, so we went back to the room around 4-ish. Actually, I think we went back around 3:30 to get into our room. The event tickets for Disney Channel night let us in at 6. That's the earliest you could get in with the event ticket. And so we got ready and we went back over, got in line, maybe about 6:40 or so. I'm sorry, 5:40 or so, 5:30, 5:40. And when we got there, the line to get in, because they only have certain turnstiles open for the special ticket event entry. And the lines in front of those turnstiles were, I mean, when Lucy and I got in line, we could touch the gate for California Adventure.
Jeez.
So I was like, wow, okay. And it was on the cooler side still. I mean, the sun had come out a little bit, but it was still on the cooler side. And I was wearing this basketball jersey for Troy Bolton from the Wildcats from High School Musical. Lucy was wearing this red dress, kind of giving Gabriella, the love interest there in High School Musical. But I was wearing.
Were you carrying around a basketball too?
I was not carrying around a basketball. But I was wearing this basketball jersey, and I wasn't wearing anything underneath the basketball jersey. And right across the chest had the embroidered like Wildcats, right?
I think
I know where this is going.
And if you've ever worn anything that is embroidered, typically on the back of the embroidery, there's like something that kind of goes across that they kind of use as like a backing or whatever. This didn't really have that, but the back of the letters or whatever was just like really rough. And
Cody had bloody nipples.
And like as soon as we left the hotel room, I mean, we're maybe 20 feet from the hotel room, and I'm already like adjusting my shirt and everything, and I'm like holding the shirt up against my chest because it's just kind of shifting as I walk. And I was telling Lucy, it's like, because we didn't bring our backpack or anything in with us that night because we didn't need sunscreen, we didn't need sunglasses, we didn't bring an extra pair of shoes because we weren't planning on getting wet. I have a story about that too. And so it's like 20 feet from leaving the hotel room. And I was like, we maybe should have grabbed the Band-Aids. I'm sensing I'm going to have a problem here before too long.
Cody's like, oh, shoot.
I'm going to look like one of those marathon runners, and I'm just going to have like red streaks going down my shirt by the end of the night. So we got in, they passed out the little booklet that kind of showed what the special food was, the programming for the special entertainment and the photo ops and things like that. And they also gave you this lanyard. It says Disney Channel Nite, Disneyland After Dark on it. And on the end of the lanyard was your glow wand, like the old school Disney Channel where the actors would say, I'm Miley Cyrus and you're watching Disney Channel, and they draw the Mickey head, right? So there was a glow wand, not like one of those crack and shake ones, but this was like plastic. It had a button on it, LED lights in it, wand, and everybody got one that was attending the event when you walked in. And so we walk in and we're like, okay, we're here. What do we want to do? And it's like, well, I assumed we could ride Buzz Lightyear at any point that night because I knew it was closing. It would be closed the next day for refurbishment. I was like, if we want to ride Buzz Lightyear, we have to do it tonight because it won't be open the rest of our trip because it's going down for refurbishment. I had seen either earlier in the day or a couple of days earlier that when the park closed for its normal operating day, not for the party, but they were closing Buzz Lightyear, so Buzz Lightyear would not be open for the party. And so I said, if we have any interest in doing it, we should do it now because we may not have the opportunity to do it later. So we did. First ride of the trip was Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters.
Your favorite.
My favorite.
I think you've called it the inferior version of Toy Story Mania before. I think that's what you called it.
Yeah, and I think that's an accurate description.
No.
it's the 1.0. Toy Story is the 2.0, and you could maybe argue that Web Slingers is the 3.0. It's all the same premise. You're shooting targets, and each ride has a different and in my opinion, updated way on doing so, on shooting at the targets. My personal opinion is Toy Story is the best mechanism for, your gun and the targets. It's crap in Buzz Lightyear. Absolute crap. And Web Slingers isn't bad, but I think it gets more tiring than Toy Story. Anyway, we get off Buzz Lightyear. We grab a churro because there's that churro cart right there, kind of in the middle of the walkway between Buzz Lightyear and Star Tours. And then we kind of do a couple of other things. We get on Star Tours, and I think a lot of people have already started kind of filing out of the park at this point, because even at this point, at 6, 7 o'clock at night, wait times are extremely low. 5, 10, 15 minutes at, on the high end. So we were able to do a lot of things that we wanted to do before the party even started, or the after hour event truly started at 9 o'clock, because the park closes at 8, and then they kind of take the hour to let the people shop or whatever and kind of scoot everybody out. But once 8 o'clock hits, whenever you go to a ride or enter a new land, they're looking for wristbands and things like that, because otherwise they're trying to, herd people to the exit. And so we got done quite a bit. We had done like maybe 2 or 3 rides, and my for lack of a better word, my nipples were starting to become a problem.
First aid station.
Well, yeah, and that's what we did. I told Lucy, I'm gonna have to go to the first aid station and get a couple of Band-Aids.
I would have loved to be there when you walked in, be like, hey, can I get a couple of Band-Aids for my nipples?
I wondered if they were, because I've actually never been to the first aid station before. So this is the first time I've ever gone to the first aid station in either park personally. I knew where it was located, but I had never gone myself. And I said, I'd be very surprised if they didn't have Band-Aids. I know they have all kinds of other stuff. So I was like, they got to have Band-Aids. I mean, things just happen. People need Band-Aids for blisters or just who knows what reason, right? So I go in and they say, hi, how can we help you? And I said, can I get a couple of Band-Aids? And then they had like this laminated sheet of Band-Aids. And they said, sure, what kind do you want? They had like 5 different options of Band-Aids on there. And so I just said, I'd like 2 of those ones, please. And they said, okay, just sign our guest book or whatever. I guess they just kind of keep a record of who comes in. It's probably a liability thing in case you were ever tried to like sue or dispute or something. I don't know. They got a record that you came in and asked for something. I didn't have to write down what it was I was getting or asked for. I just basically had to put my name down and the date and the time. And then they handed me my 2 Band-Aids and we were on our way. We walked outside and I put Band-Aids on my nipples and
but you didn't get locked in the first aid station, right? You were
I
able
didn't
to leave.
use the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
and luckily it wasn't right before park closing. So I learned from Amalia there, I guess. Do not try to use the bathroom in the first aid station right before park closing. So it's funny though, when I did, I wasn't like really bleeding or anything yet, but they were becoming quite sensitive. And I knew it was, we had only been in the park for maybe an hour. Right. And I was like, I can't go the rest of the night like this.
It's like, this is not going to work.
No. But when I took the Band-Aids off that night, there were little tiny drop of blood on them. So I was like, if that was only after like an hour, I can only imagine I would have looked like, I don't know if anybody watches The Office, but there's like they do like this fun run. There's an episode when they do like the fun run, and I think it's Michael and he's just like his nipples, and then just like streaks of blood just down.
Is
the
Michael
front of his shirt.
Steve Carell?
Is it Michael or is it Andy? Isn't it Andy?
Oh, I think it is Andy.
It's
I
Andy.
think you're right.
Because that kind of happens to Steve Carell in the 40-Year-Old Virgin. He gets his chest waxed.
Oh,
And as he's wearing his shirt home, you can see like streaks of blood on his shirt. It's great.
so yeah, James, I think you're right. I think in The Office it was
Yeah,
Andy
I'm pretty sure
that
it's
had
Andy. Yeah.
his bleeding nipples when they were doing that 5K or whatever it was they were doing.
Yep.
But I was like, yeah, I'm glad I got the Band-Aid because once I got those Band-Aids on, I was fine the rest of the night, But it was just like every movement I did before the Band-Aids, I could feel, right?
Everyone was looking at him saying, "Get your head in the game."
I'm walking around like this, like my nipples. So Lucy and I got our picture taken, in our outfits and everything in front of the castle before the event got started because they had kind of cleared. They had blocked off the castle so people couldn't walk through it anymore because later in the night they had set up the photo spot for you to do like the thanks for watching Disney Channel, and you could do the little thing
Like we did at D23.
right. They had like 4 or 5 of those set up in front of the castle for the party. But we were able to get a picture in front of the castle with nobody behind us in our outfits and everything. And so that was really cool. We did other things. We shared a garlic cheesy pretzel bread thing from Maurice's, which has become like a fan favorite for a lot of people. That's a really good treat or a snack. We rode Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And this was, I think, after 8, but before 9 when the party started. And we almost had a whole train to ourselves on Mickey and Minnie's. There were 2 other people on the train with us.
Nice.
But we almost had a full train to ourselves before the party even started. So as far as getting on rides was concerned, it was very easy to get on rides that night during the party, which I think, at least for Lucy and I, where it had been so long since we had been to Disneyland, and our other tickets that we were using for the trip was only a 2-day ticket. It helped us feel very accomplished with what we had gotten done versus what we felt like we still had left to do the rest of our trip with the time we had left. So we tried a couple of different food or drink items that were specific to the After Dark event. There was a limeade over at Cafe Daisy in Toontown. It was called the Power Lime.
How was it?
It was pretty good. I mobile ordered it. I picked it up. And we sat at a table right there by Cafe Daisy and the exit of Mickey and Minnie's. Lucy took a sip. She says, "Oh, it's pretty good. You should take a sip." And I was doing something. I was messing around with, I was going to say the backpack, but we didn't have the backpack. Maybe it was the wand, or I was doing something. And then I go to set something down. Maybe it was my phone. And I knock the drink over and goes onto the floor, and all but like that much of it spilt before I was able to pick it back up.
Oh, man.
If you just listen to us, Cody did his fingers very, very small apart.
Yeah, I was maybe a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch left of liquid in the cup with some ice still in the cup as well. So there wasn't much liquid left in the cup. I didn't really get a sip. I kind of polished off what was left of it. Poor cast member came over and mopped up the mess I had just made. And I was like, I'm so sorry. was not my intention to make this big mess. You know, it's sticky and everything, you know, because she came over and swept up the ice into like a trash can with her broom and her bin and everything. And then I figured, you know, she would just, I don't know, let the rest of it dry or whatever. But then she came over with a mop, and then I really felt bad. And then I guess the manager of the establishment of Cafe Daisy there, he came walking through the table area, and he says, "Oh no, power line down," because he saw his well, I don't know if it was directly his team member. I think she might have been more custodial. I'm not entirely. She wasn't really wearing a custodial. She wasn't wearing white, so I guess she must have been a Cafe Daisy employee, just kind of in charge of cleaning up after the tables and stuff like that. And he says, "Did anybody?" He said, "Did anybody hook you up with another?" I was like, "No, I just spilt it. I didn't say anything to anybody." And he says, "Go back up to the window and tell him Michael said to get you another." And so I went back up to the pickup window, and I said, "I accidentally spilled my drink. I talked with Michael. He said I could have another one." And they just said, "Here you go."
They're like, "We have no idea who Michael is.
We don't know Michael.
Get out of here."
The only thing that would make that story cooler is if Josh tomorrow walked by you. Like, "Hey, Josh said I can get another one."
Yeah. But he was in like he wasn't in like the uniform that the rest of the Cafe Daisy people were wearing. He was in longer pants and a button-up shirt, and so I assumed he was the manager.
Did he have a claw thing to pick up trash? Because they normally carry one of those around with them.
I think he did. Yeah. Yeah. I think he
funny.
did.
I want to get a name tag and go around and start telling people stuff like that.
Just go back up to the window, tell them James sent you.
Tell them James said you get a free whatever. Be like, who the heck is James?
So
Michael, giving out $300 worth of stuff today for this James guy.
ring the bell at Club 33. Hey, James said I could come in. But Michael was very nice, so we were able to get another drink, which we were actually able to enjoy. I did not spill it this time. There was also a, like, they called it like a butter cake with Oreo and like a peanut butter drizzle. It was called Peanut Trapped, and that was over at the Red Rose Tavern. That was something that I wanted to try. And it was good. It was very, very sweet, which usually doesn't bother me too much, but this was very sweet. It was very rich, very decadent. I don't even think Lucy and I split one, and I still don't think we finished all of it, because on top of the butter cake with the Oreo crumbles and the peanut butter sauce, there was a pretty healthy sized scoop of cookies and cream ice cream on top of it as well.
Sounds delicious.
So that was pretty good. We went over to Small World, and we rode Small World, which James knows. I did FaceTime James on Small World. I need to remember that I need to bring my AirPods when I do that, so I can actually hear you, because
it is hard to hear.
The music's so loud. And luckily we were in the back row, and, you know, I didn't feel bad about anybody behind me or anything trying to like FaceTime somebody.
Right.
Be that annoying person or whatever. But we were in the back row, so I felt fine about it. But I could barely hear James. The only way I could hear James is basically putting the phone up to my ear while I'm talking to him, but it's a FaceTime. So then that makes it, he's looking at the side of my head.
You barely caught me too. I went to bed early that night. I was about out at that point, but I'm glad I didn't miss it. I haven't missed one of those FaceTime calls yet on Small World.
Kaylee did it from
she did.
Walt Disney World, right? Okay.
Yep, she sure did.
All right.
Well, because we got on, and as soon as we kind of go into the building, Lucy is like, "Are we going to FaceTime James?" And I was like, "We gotta."
Yeah.
So luckily for James,
that's turned into one of my favorite things.
Luckily for James, I didn't keep him on the line for 15 minutes this time. I let him go after about 30 seconds or so. But especially now knowing he was trying to go to bed. So
No, that was perfect. Your timing was perfect.
the interesting thing, though, about getting on Small World was that I wasn't expecting to get wet on Small World. And we got wet. But not by being splashed or anything like that. There isn't a brand new drop in the ride or anything that they added overnight.
That'd be cool.
Like I said, we were in the back row and wasn't a long line. We practically walked right onto it. We had a full boat, but we were in the back row. And when the boat pulls up and we are preparing to step into the boat, there's about 1.5 inches of water on the floor of the boat. And I'm like, why is there so much water back here? And the strange thing was, it was only in the back row. It wasn't like the whole boat was flooding. It was just about 1.5 inches of standing water in the back row. And luckily I wore my platform shoes, so I'm tall enough to ride all the rides, so my feet didn't get wet. But, if I was wearing normal shoes without 2 inches worth of cushion in them, my feet would have gotten wet on Small World and would have ruined the whole night for me.
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, it was strange, especially because when you leave like the dock and everything, you're kind of like on the conveyor belts before they drop you in the water, and it kind of lifts you up a bit, and then you kind of sink back down once you get into the flume. So the water would like pile up in the back by my ankles and then pile up in the front by my toes, because it was only in our little row there.
Right.
But it was weird. I'm like, where's all this water coming from? But yeah, the rest of the night we just kind of ran around and went on the rides we really wanted to hit. I think we did Space Mountain twice. It said it was a 20-minute wait, but I mean we walked all the way up to the loading room, that ramp that kind of wraps its way around and then lowers you down to the platform. So, I mean, we maybe waited at best 5 minutes both times. I did go live on TikTok. I was trying to catch what was the equivalent to like the parade for the evening. It was this High School Musical versus Zombies pep rally. I was like, okay. And in the booklet, it said, 9:30 Small World Mall, whatever other timestamp at like the hub, and then another timestamp at Town Square, right? And maybe I should have read more into that, but I just assumed that they were just being like, hey, if you're this is kind of when the parade will hit these certain landmarks along the parade route, right? What I didn't realize is they do like almost like a 5-minute show where the parade isn't moving at those 3 places. And then in between those places, they just kind of steamroll down the parade corridor. And there's, the music's still going and they're singing and everything, but it's like one float with some dancers in the front and in the back of the float. And where, so I thought that there would be more to see as they were going down the parade corridor. And so we were maybe 100 feet down from the Small World Mall, and I missed the whole show. And so I'm sitting there on TikTok live, and you can see that just around the corner, there's a bunch of stuff happening. And it's just like, okay.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Cody, from the Talking Disney podcast, here showing you what's not happening at Disneyland. If you're interested in seeing the show, it's over there.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near where I'm at. It's down there.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you absolutely nothing.
And I, not that there were a lot of viewers, but I basically captured nothing. Most of what I caught was the music and the lights and being like, it's down there. We're just waiting for it to come down here. And
then it came down here and sped right past me.
Yeah, and it's
People
and then
are
they're like the
replying.
whole flood of people that you get like behind the parade, right?
Yeah.
And then because then I think because there were people lined up around the whole parade corridor, so I wasn't alone in thinking that there'd be more to see if you just lined up along the parade corridor like you do. But no, because it was really interesting. They come out, you kind of hear it start, and then you stop, and I was like, okay, well, it's not totally uncommon for the parade to stop. Briefly, they do the little performance, and then they go like another 100 feet, do it again or whatever, right? Because usually like the dancers are far enough ahead of the float where they can do things like that. I thought that's all it was. But what was really interesting is you had a whole bunch of managers and security and stuff about, and I can see it just get to the corner, and we're, like 100 feet down from the corner, the curve in the road before you hit Small World. And then I see like the security and the managers do this to all the people standing on the side of the road. And then everybody makes like this giant circle around the float. I'm like, well, that's really, like, that's weird. Like, what's going on? Like, I was like, did the parade like stop? And
I'm live on TikTok. I have absolutely no idea what's going on.
I was just like, man, I'm trying to do this thing to try to boost some, our account on TikTok and go live and get some engagement going. And I thought that there'd be way more to see. I didn't know I didn't expect it to be super long, right?
Right.
I didn't realize it would be like 10 dancers and one float. And that for like the 20 minutes I was on live, I was only actually able to show about 1 minute worth of content. So I was kind of upset about that because it was just a big fat waste of time. And when they did come past us, even for everybody else along the parade route, there really wasn't much worth seeing unless you were right where you needed to be when they stopped and did basically about a 5-minute performance where they did some songs from High School Musical and they did some songs from Zombies. So that was kind of a bummer. So after that, I was like, man, screw the rest of this special. And there wasn't a ton else like special entertainment wise. There was a Disney Channel Rocks stage where like every hour or so that they would come out on stage and do about a 10-minute performance of different Disney Channel songs. And that was over by Small World Mall too. We did that right at 9:00 or just after 9. And then we moved down the road a little bit for the parade. If I had stayed where we were watching the Disney Channel Rocks, like musical concert, I would have had a better view of the pep rally thing. But I don't know. I didn't know if I just didn't look at that clearly enough to be able to decipher that really you were only going to see something worthwhile at those 3 spots indicated at those 3 times. Because it was, I don't know, to me, the way I took it, it was like it would be more of like a cavalcade or something like that, that there'd be a little bit more to see, but wasn't the case. So I think we stayed until just about 1:00. I think we might have left 10 minutes early or so, but it was fun. There was karaoke in the Golden Horseshoe, and there were photo ops, around different places in the park. But I mean, the lines That's why the lines for the rides are short, because everybody and their brother is in line for these photo ops, and none of the photo ops particularly I was willing to wait in line for. None of them were as cool as some of the ones that I've seen from some of the events that you guys have been to for Throwback Night or the 70th celebration, 70 years of favorites. Like, they didn't have like the Haunted Mansion, groundskeeper, that would have been something I would have been willing to wait in line for. But most of them, there weren't a lot of characters. There were very few actual characters out and about to take pictures with. Most of them were like the backdrops and, things like that. And to me, the backdrops are a little less worth it than like a character. And I can understand where it would be harder for like a Disney Channel night to do the characters because they're not as specific.
They just need to get Zac Efron to show up.
Zac Efron, the actor that portrayed Zac Efron's dad, was there.
Cool.
And a lot of people saw him. We saw the back side of him. We saw this guy with a plaid taking pictures with a couple of people. We thought it was just like three buddies taking a picture together because that actor had his arm around these two dudes and it looked very chummy. And then all of a sudden he broke off and went with a plaid, and we're like, oh, that was somebody. But we just saw the back of his head. We didn't really know who it was. We realized later, after seeing other people's posts online, that that's who it was. It was the actor that played Troy Bolton's dad in High School Musical. So Mickey and Minnie were dressed up in High School Musical attire, and they were taking photos by the Frontierland Trail, like the Big Thunder entrance to Galaxy's Edge, the tunnel there, just before the tunnel. That had a really long line, and it was like, I don't really feel like waiting in line for that.
Right.
I'd rather meet Mickey just in normal Mickey clothes. But and then the lines for like the You're Watching Disney Channel little photo op thing with the glowing Mickey head, that line in front of the castle was just bonkers. Merch for the event was crazy. I don't know if you guys saw anything online about what went down with the merch for the event that night. We saw it after the fact, but we rode Star Tours pretty early on, like 6:30 or so. And when we came out of Star Tours, I could see that people were already starting to line up for the little merch station that they had inside of the old Starcade, which they hadn't had it opened yet at that point. But they had a zip-up jacket, a zip-up hoodie jacket that said Disney Channel Night. It had the this Disney Channel Night logo on like the front pocket, chest pocket. And then on the back, it had that logo again. And then the logos for the TV shows or movies from Disney Channel that were being represented in the park that night. So they had that. They had the pin. And did they have something else? I can't remember. It was at least those two things. And they had a light up headband.
Okay.
They had a light up headband, and then it glows kind of like you're drawing the Disney Channel Mickey outline.
Right.
By the time, we went to the merch area way later. It was probably at least 11 o'clock by the time we went into the Starcade, and everything was gone. Everything was gone. To the point where I don't think it definitely wasn't official Disney Channel Night merchandise, because I had seen it like in World of Disney and stuff like that earlier on in the day and then throughout our trip. But they had just like Wildcats East High crew neck sweatshirt that they had put up on the racks to sell something Disney Channel related because everything else was gone. And then I had seen videos on TikTok the next morning of the Emporium because they were selling the merch at the Starcade and they were also selling the merch at the Emporium. That the Emporium was packed, like no room to walk in the Emporium for everybody trying to buy merch earlier on in the night. And we weren't in that part of the park at that point. And then there was security and managers in the Emporium, yelling over everybody saying, if you're here for merch, they were telling the people like what the limits are. And it's like, they had like the merch like behind the counter. So you had to like wait in line to get it. And it was just nuts. We went into the Emporium later in the evening and there was like nobody in there. Right. Lucy and I were in there because we were like, at that point in the night, we were kind of cold. We were going to buy a sweater. And it was like, oh, it was easy breezy. Like you weren't having to like dodge people. It's like, man, this is great. I've never seen the Emporium so empty. And Lucy was chatting it up with the woman that was cashing us out at the cash register. And Lucy says, do you like these after hour events because it's not as busy in here? And she says, oh, you should have seen it earlier. And then we saw the videos the next morning and we're like, oh my goodness, that was crazy.
There's a way to fix that if they would listen.
Yeah, exactly. So we avoided a lot of the crowds for the night. We didn't wait in line for the photo ops. We didn't get merch. So we mostly focused on doing the rides we wanted to do. We tried a couple of food items, but most of them I wasn't all that interested in. So we had a good time, but what made it good for us was not necessarily the Disney Channel aspect of it. Now they were playing Disney Channel music throughout the whole park, right? You didn't get the standard themed music for each land. They were playing the Disney Channel music in every land, everywhere you went. And so that was fun because we were singing along and stuff like that. But
so quick question for you regarding that. Was any of the songs in Spanish or were they all in English?
They were all in English.
Okay. I'm just wondering, the last couple After Dark events, I don't know that I've talked about this when we've recorded, but it's been funny because there's always special music being played at the After Dark events. But the last two specifically, there were quite a few songs that were in Spanish. It was
so the last two. You went to the 70th. Did you go to Sweethearts Night this year?
Yes.
So those two, huh?
Yeah, Sweethearts Night specifically is where I started noticing it because I had Jin with me, who's who's born in Mexico, and he was
singing along, huh?
Well, no, he was just pointing it out. I think there were some mariachis there by Pirates of the Caribbean that he posted some video of.
I saw his videos of that because I'm friends with him on Facebook, and it obviously makes sense that they did some Spanish renditions of songs, being a mariachi band.
But then like over by in front of It's a Small World, that corridor right there, they'd have like a dance party, and they were playing Achy Breaky Heart, but it was in Spanish.
Interesting.
So they were doing like line dancing out there in the corridor, but it was in Spanish. And then I noticed when I went back for the other one, for the 70th, I don't remember which song it was, but I was like, holy cow. Like he mentioned, he said there were so many songs that were in Spanish that it was just kind of odd. And then I just noticed that the next one that I went to, I was like, holy cow, I hear it again. There's different songs that are in Spanish. Yeah. So I was just wondering if you noticed that any of them.
I didn't notice any of them to be in Spanish. What I did notice was the rotation of music that they had didn't seem to be as big as it could have been. Mm-hmm. It seemed like we were hearing like the same 5, maybe 10 songs at best.
Right.
Just kind of over and over throughout the night. And some of it's like okay, you've got 3 High School Musical movies, and you're playing like 2 High School Musical songs, and they aren't even like the best 2 High School Musical songs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like one of them, like they're playing "We're All in This Together," right? And then they were playing another one, but it's like there are at least like 5 other ones from at least the first 2 movies that are really, really good that everybody knows that you could work into the rotation.
That seems odd, doesn't it? You'd think they would put
Right.
more of them in there.
Or just even like, even if you're not representing that show or movie with a photo op or a character meet and greet or something like that, like you could still put them like the theme song to that TV show on your playlist, right? Because everybody knows those.
It's not like they don't have the rights.
Right. We did notice that we didn't go to this year's Sweethearts Night. We went to 2025, and we noticed we would hear the same songs at Sweethearts Night over. And it's like, is our playlist like 7 songs long? Because there's so many songs you could play for Sweethearts Night. From
love songs, Disney love songs. Like take your pick.
There's
almost every song.
Yeah,
you
could have made it 15 to 20, so that you hear the same song maybe twice. I was thinking twice the whole night. 3 times that whole night maybe. But yeah, it does seem. I don't remember Throwback Night as far as if I heard songs over and over again. But yeah.
Yeah, and there was like this one that we heard, and it's like, this isn't even from Disney Channel. It's from like an actress that was on Disney Channel. I think it was a Selena Gomez song, which Selena Gomez was in Wizards of Waverly Place. But the song that they were playing was never in Wizards of Waverly Place. It was just a song by Selena Gomez that she put out when she was on Disney Channel. And it was, at the time it was being played on Radio Disney, or it was like a commercial on the Disney Channel, was like the music video. So like, okay, maybe you played the song on Disney Channel, like the music video, but you could have just done the Wizards of Waverly Place theme song, which was also sung by Selena Gomez, so it's just, I thought that was interesting. I think they could have had a much broader variety of songs that would still have been recognizable, but
they need to put us in charge of one of these after dark events. We would knock it out of the park.
No kidding.
Everyone would be coming back for more.
And they need to do all the photo ops virtual queues. That's what I think.
I never thought about that.
I don't know. Like, to me, it worked better for me because I could do all the rides because they were all standing in line for that stuff, But anyways, that was Disney Channel night. We had a good time.
Nice.
I did have some scabs on my nipples afterwards. It would have been a lot worse if not for the Band-Aids an hour in, but
it was a good trip to Disneyland when you walk away with scabs on your nipples. I mean, that's one of the one of the things you're looking for a successful trip.
Yes.
Did you have fun? Yes. You got scabs on your nipples? No. It was a waste of time.
Then did you really go?
If you don't have blisters on your feet and scabs on your nipples, did you even go to Disneyland? So the next day would have been Monday. We slept in. We went over to downtown Disney and had lunch. We walked through all the shops and stores in downtown Disney, did some shopping, dropped some cash, went back to the room, just kind of hung out. We wanted to do like the pool or something like that, but it was too cold. It was overcast. It wasn't super sunny. And so that was just okay. We did lunch over at Centrico, that Mexican restaurant that's kind of in the center there.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. I had these like some sort of Pibil tacos. They were really good.
What kind of meat is on those?
I think it was pork.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
But they had really, really good flavor. So that was good. We enjoyed our lunch. But so I got the taco plate. Lucy got fish tacos, 2 drinks, and you have to order the chips and salsa separately. They don't just put them on the table. And so you pay, I can't remember what it was. I think it was like $6 or $7 or something like that for the chips and salsa. But like we pay, it was like with the tip and everything at the end, it was almost $100 for the 2 of us.
Wow.
Yeah. Now the food was really, really good, but I mean, my taco plate was like $23 or $24. So was Lucy's. So
yeah, I don't know what else you guys, because last time we went, it was Marcia and I, and then I had 2 friends that were there, so we met them for dinner. They weren't Magic Key holders at the time, so I just paid for the bill so we can get the discount. But it was like $150, $160 for 4 of us.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, but it was good nonetheless. We went back to the room and kind of hung out for a while, came back in for dinner into downtown Disney. We did dinner. We went to the Napolini, which is like the quick service Naples, right there next to the Naples restaurant. And we shared a pizza there. And then we went over to the Grand Californian because we had already kind of walked through the shops. We had already bought stuff at World of Disney. And we went to World of Disney a couple more times anyways and bought more stuff later. But was like, we were just in World of Disney earlier. We don't really want to go back already. So we went over to the Grand Californian, and luckily there was several seats available by the fireplace. And it was a cooler evening. So it's like, you know what? That actually sounds kind of nice right now, sitting by the fire and listening to the piano music. And
I love it when it's cool outside and sitting there by the fire. Just like that, listening to piano music.
Yeah.
It's awesome. What a great, nice place to relax.
We did that for 30, 45 minutes or so maybe, and just enjoyed being there, listening to music, and had a nice time. And then afterward, we went to Salt and Straw, got some ice cream.
What flavor?
I got the salted malted chocolate chip cookie dough.
Sounds good.
It was very good. Lucy got the like ooey gooey chocolate brownie or something like that, and she got like a split scoop. So it's like this. It's like the same size as doing like 1 scoop, but she got 2 flavors. So she did that, and then she also did the like strawberry and coconut water. Which ended up, that was also, it was a sherbet, strawberry and coconut water sherbet. And that was also very tasty. With it being made with the coconut water, it gave it a nice kind of lightness.
Nice.
And the coconut flavor came through a little bit, but it wasn't overpowering or anything. So that was very nice as well. Salt and Straw has some crazy flavors, but they do have what you could consider normal. I mean, they've got like that strawberry and coconut water sounds like it might be a little funny, but it's more or less just strawberry, right?
Right.
I got a cookie dough. They had this chocolate brownie. So, I mean, they've got normal enough flavors on there as well that I think anybody can enjoy Salt and Straw. And it's the first time really I've been to Salt and Straw. And I think we went 3 times this trip.
Nice.
So Lucy, and we both did, but Lucy really enjoyed her ice cream enough to where we went. So that was Monday night, and we went Wednesday night, which was our last day. And then we actually went Thursday morning before we flew out, after having like a early lunch in downtown Disney before leaving. But So we spent 2 days in the park. I'm trying to not take forever here. Sorry.
You're good.
We spent 2 days in the park. Tuesday we started in California Adventure. We spent majority of the day over in California Adventure. Rode pretty much everything we wanted to. Wait times were relatively short for most of the day. I think the longest line we waited in was 30 minutes. And that was for Mike and Sully, the Monsters Inc. attraction.
That one's been really long lately.
Yeah.
I think people are, trying to get on it. It could be their last trip before it gets bulldozed, which is a whole nother topic. We'll talk about next time, maybe.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a good time in California Adventure. We got to ride Soarin' over California.
Nice.
It's been a long time since I've been on Soarin' over California because of recent years, they've had a history of bringing it back for a limited engagement during the Food and Wine Festival. Was one of the reasons why I pushed for going during this time frame, is because I wanted to do Soarin' over California. And I wanted to at least attempt to go for the Food and Wine Festival because it's nice to go when DCA has a festival going because of the extra food and stuff.
Did you have any problems when riding Soarin'? I heard a lot of people complaining about the sense not working or stuff like that.
We rode it 3 times throughout the trip and sense worked
fine?
every time.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we did not have any issues on Soarin'. Lucy kept saying that I'm glad you got to ride that for your nostalgia. I'm glad you enjoyed that.
Oh, does she not like that ride?
Because she's only done the Soarin' Around the World version. And because I asked her as soon as we rode it the first time, I said, how does that compare to Soarin' Around the World? And she says, I'm not mad that Soarin' Around the World is the version I've seen more. I was like, okay. And she's like, I understand you like it because it's nostalgia, but she likes Soarin' Around the World better because of the transitions. And in Soarin' Around the World, you have like the elephant that throws up the dirt,
right?
That kind of covers the camera, and then as you clear through the dirt, you're kind of brought into the next scene. Or at the Great Wall of China, the kite goes in front of you. Things like that kind of help transition from scene to scene or from place to place. In Soarin' over California, it just kind of cuts to the next place. You don't really have the transition. And I was like, well, they had like 20 years in between, to be like, hey, maybe we should put in some transitions. So I mean, I can see where she's coming from. It doesn't bother me, but I can see where if all you knew was the one that had the transitions, now going to this, it feels a bit kind of choppy and disjointed, but
right.
It's a 25-year-old film,
Yep.
So she did enjoy the Orange Grove scent the best because pretty much the other scents are either pine trees or there's like a salt water smell, right?
Yeah, I love that smell.
The salt water or the oranges?
The salt water.
It smells better than actual salt water.
Yes. I love the oranges too, of course.
Yes. So I enjoyed that. We did that like 3 times throughout the course of our trip. We tried a couple of items from Food and Wine. I tried these tahini spiced chicken wings, which were very good. So I didn't think that I liked tahini. I think what it is that I don't like is chamoy. And a lot of times those two are kind of featured together.
Right.
This did not have any chamoy. It just had tahini. So, but I tried them. I enjoyed the wings a lot. They had a good spice to them, which I didn't mind. They were spicier than Lucy cared for. But also tried kind of like this carne and chicken asada dish So you had a piece of chicken and a piece of steak, tortilla, some salsa, and some Mexican rice. That was good. Tried the steak mac and cheese with garlic chimichurri.
That sounds delicious. Was it good?
The mac and cheese was fine. The steak was as good as you could expect for something like that. You know, it's chopped up little steak bites, so they're not the most tender pieces of meat, but it had good flavor. I really wanted to like it, but I just don't care for chimichurri. And it had a lot of chimichurri on it. So I got it because back in the day, they used to just do like a garlic bacon mac and cheese, and that was always really good. And they've kind of evolved into this like steak chimichurri garlic mac and cheese now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got it because I wanted to like it as much as I liked the bacon one. And I don't care for chimichurri. So
Gotcha.
But that's okay. Lucy liked that one more than I did, so it worked out well.
Perfect.
And yeah, Lucy rode Guardians a few times on her own.
Really? A few times?
Yeah, I think she did it. Well, because we got lightning lanes for it.
Oh, okay. And you're not using yours, so
And I'm not
she's
using
able
mine.
to use. Perfect.
So she got to go on it both days back to back.
Nice.
So she used her lightning lane, and then she'd use my lightning lane, and she would be able to go on it back to back.
That's perfect.
So it worked out well for her. She enjoyed that. Yeah. We did initially have reservations for Carthay Circle, but we ended up canceling them just because we were snacking and things like that. And we're like, man, we're just not hungry enough to make it worth going to Carthay Circle and paying those kind of prices. So we canceled our Carthay Circle reservation and just continued to snack and eat little things here and there, which ended up working pretty well for us. Wednesday, we watched World of Color Tuesday night, which was good. We enjoyed that. Wednesday night, we started over in Disneyland, and we rope dropped. Did a couple of things that morning. Wait times were relatively low. Most everything was a walk-on for the first, probably up until about 11. We were walking on anything we went to. I sent you guys that picture. It was like 10:30, 10:45 in the morning, somewhere in that zone, and we had a whole car to ourselves on Space Mountain.
That's
at like 10:30,
cool.
10:45 in the morning.
Right.
So, and that wasn't using a lightning lane or nothing. That was just standby. So it had clearly died down from the initial like rope drop rush, and then people just kind of hadn't started gravitating that direction yet. But I mean, overall, that was kind of our experience the whole trip. Is wait times were pretty good the whole time. It wasn't crazy packed like the last few times that we have been. So we felt good about that because we got to do the things we wanted to do and not have to wait forever. Later in the day, Lucy went on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and I wasn't feeling like going on it at the time, and so she went through the single rider. And while I'm waiting for her to come off, she texts me and she's like, I'm two logs, like she's on the second log back from the final lift hill.
Right.
At the end of the ride. And she says the lights just came on. And I said, if they're turning on the lights, that means they're coming to get you.
Yep.
If it's just like a temporary delay, they'll keep the music going. They'll keep the house lights turned off, just the show lights. And, you know, they might come over the speaker and say, there's been a delay. Please sit tight. You'll get going in a moment. But if they're turning on the big lights, then there's a bigger issue at play.
Yep.
So because she was a single rider, she was in the back, and the rest of her log was filled with a bunch of teenage boys. And she was saying that, you know, she kind of pegged these boys at maybe 14, 15 years old, somewhere in that range. And they were getting a little, you know, antsy after, you know, 5 minutes or so. And, you know, Lucy and I are texting back and forth, and, you know, people are exiting the queue. And so I was like, yeah, I mean, they're having everyone evacuate the queue. I mean, this is a full on ride stoppage. You're going to get evacuated. They're going to escort you off the ride at this point. And she says, yeah, they're saying that, you know, to sit tight, that somebody with us shortly coming over the loudspeakers. And I was like, yeah, you know, just sit there. just sit there and be patient and wait. She says,
don't get out.
No, she says there's because she can see like half the lift hill because she's a couple logs back. She says that there are people getting out of their logs and walking down the stairs along the side of the lift hill. And she said all but one of the boys in her log got out.
This is before cast members come?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is before the cast members arrived. And you know, and they're coming on the loudspeakers, get back in your boats. You know, we have cameras. We're watching you, you know, like if you get out of your boat, you will be talking with security. And so the boys kind of walked off. I think that there was like a door or something that was kind of like an emergency exit, and they kind of walked that way. But then I think they kind of realized that once they got that far, they didn't know where to go anymore. It wasn't directly obvious. Like once you kind of went through that door, where it was you were supposed to go to get out of the place. So they, plus with the announcements on the loudspeaker, they eventually came back to the boat and sat down. But the cast members were fully aware by the time that they did get to them and the rest of the people on the lift hill who had gotten out of the boat and who hadn't. And Lucy said, she's like, I was trying to tell them, it's like, you know, like, and they're like, oh, we could have been doing this ride by now. I could have been doing this by now. And she says, you know, they'll give you a pass to come back or to do this ride or any other ride. You know,
like
like
the log, you could be banned for life by now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you could have been on this ride, or they could be walking you out of the park right now. So
it could be you're done for the day. It could be you're done forever.
Yeah.
Like it's at their discretion because you have violated direct instructions.
Yeah.
You were told repeatedly every couple of minutes, they're coming on the loudspeaker, do not get out of your boat. Please be patient. We are on our way. There will be somebody there to assist you momentarily. Like they are giving instructions. Nobody should be like, oh, I don't know what's going on. You know, They were just teenage boys and other, you know, adults with kids and stuff. They're getting their families out of boats. So people are just being impatient.
it would be kind of hard if you were on the lift hill, because the way you're sitting to get out of the boat. I mean, it's doable, but you know, you're at an angle and then trying to lift yourself out of the boat. I was like, man, that would be a little bit of work.
There's a gap before, you know, because the flume has to be a little bit wider than the log. And so, eventually, you know, the cast members come and get everybody out, and they get kind of walked through, escorted through the inside of the mountain to the exit. And, you know, there's somebody there passing out, scanning people's tickets or magic bands or whatever to give them a multi-experience pass to either ride Tiana's again later if when it comes back open, or it was pretty much good for anything in the whole park, both parks, unless it was a individual lightning lane. So it didn't work for Rise of the Resistance, and it didn't work for Cars.
Right.
But it worked for everything else.
So did I tell you the one time we went and me, Mom, I think it was Jordan. There was 4 of us. We got in the line for web slingers right before they closed. Right. So if you're in line, they let you ride it. Well, it broke down after the park closing. So they obviously couldn't give us anything for that day. So we thought we were just, we're just out. We didn't use anything for it. The line was short, so we got in it, and it ended up we had a multi-pass experience for the next day, which I thought was kind of cool. So because normally because I think it was
at the end of the day they made it good for the next day.
Yeah, which is good because we were there the next day. Wouldn't be good if we weren't there the next day, but right. I thought we had 4 multi-experience passes for the next day, so I thought that was cool. I don't think
you mentioned that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that is cool.
But yeah, Lucy said when she was getting off, she kind of tried to hang back a little bit because she was trying to, because those boys did end up having to talk to security.
Yeah.
They had a guardian with them, somebody's aunt or something. I don't know if all the boys were related or friends, but there was somebody there that was kind of their chaperone or guardian or whatever you want to call it. And they brought this woman to be a part of the conversation as well. And Lucy was trying to see if, she was trying to overhear what the conversation was. Just so out of curiosity, were they getting a slap on the wrist and saying, hey, this is how serious this could have been. This is why we tell you not to get out of the boat. Shame on you. Don't do it again. Have a nice day. Was it, unfortunately, we're going to have to escort you out of the park for today? Or is it, wow, you've screwed up, kid. You're 15 years old and you can never come back to Disneyland. I don't think they would have banned them for life.
Right.
I think if they went back to the boat, I
could see him kicking them out for the day.
I could see him potentially getting kicked out for the day. I can also see him just getting a stern talking to.
If I'd have walked by him, I'd be like,
but
I told you guys.
They took down their information.
That's what Lucy should have done. Hey, I told them to stay at the boat.
No, she did. She told a cast member, I told them to stay where they were.
Yeah.
But I almost guarantee you they took down their information. And if they're like a repeat offender, then there could be more serious repercussions next time.
Yep.
But anyway, we went on Big Thunder a little bit later, and on the lift hill after you go through the Coyote Cave, where you have the gears and everything, the lift hill where the goat is, right? We stalled on that hill. We were going up that hill, and the whole train was on the hill, but the front of the train hadn't yet gone over the top. And it's, clickety clack, and then it just goes, kind of slumps back a little bit and stops. And we're kind of like, okay. Because it's always interesting. I've never stopped on a roller coaster mid lift hill. And this isn't a fast roller coaster as it's going up that lift hill, but I've always kind of wondered what it would be like or feel like going up a lift hill and then just stopping mid lift. And I know that's where it has the most control, is because every click you hear is basically it could stop you, right? But
the craziest one I saw was in Credicoaster. They launched, just started up the tube, and then just suddenly stopped. That might have hurt.
That probably would have hurt.
You're not going slow because the back of the ride vehicle was still outside of the tube, the back half of it, and the inside was obviously started to go up the hill. So
yeah,
you're up to what, 40 something miles per hour at that point, I think 40 or 50. I forgot what the speed is, but
it hurts sometimes at the end of the ride when they put the brake on when you're coming back into the station.
Yeah, those people got walked off. So,
but we were there for maybe 20 or 30 seconds, and then it got going again. I wonder if they just had somebody getting off or on the ride that needed extra assistance, and it just took a little bit longer, and so they had to stop all the trains so nobody would run into anything.
And the hill's an easy place to stop. It's kind of once you start going down the hill, that's
Then you kind of
You don't
have to
wanna
wait
stop.
till the next
next hill.
lift hill
Yeah.
to stop a train again.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, we finished off our night there in Disneyland, and that was about it. So we did everything we wanted to do. Some things we would have liked to have done another time, like we only did Pirates once and Haunted Mansion once, but we did everything at least once. Some things we did 3 or 4 times, but all in all, it was a shorter trip for us because we only had like the 2 full days and like the half of the day with the After Dark event. But all in all, it was a good trip.
Cool. Yeah. I think we're about 9 weeks out for our trip for Kaylee for graduating college. So
That's in early June, right?
late June now.
Late June.
Yeah.
Sounds like it was fun.
Yes, it does.
I wish I could have been there.
You could have gone down for
You could have gone down for Sweethearts
know.
Night. Or not Sweethearts, but
For Disney Channel.
Night.
Yeah.
I know.
so.
I know.
You could have
All
got
right,
your
yeah.
feet wet on Small World.
But then he wouldn't have got a phone call or a FaceTime.
No, but he probably would have been falling asleep nonetheless right then.
All right. So cool. So I'm going to leave it up to you two because I know
That was my next question.
you have there's a hockey game starting. Did you want to put off our Talking Disney, what's it called? Talking Disney podcast Disney live action movie tournament
March
until
Movie Madness.
next episode?
I think in order to give it
It's due diligence.
its due,
The
it's
respect it deserves.
the respect it deserves, I think we should do it on the next episode. Because I would hate to try
Rush.
to cram through it.
Yeah. Yeah, that is totally acceptable. So next episode, we're going to not talk about our next movie, which was Coco, right?
Mhm.
Is our next one. And we will finish out our, in honor of March Madness, which is finished last week. We will do the results of our tournament, and that'll give us time. If you go over to our TikTok channel, we're going to have up this week the final 4. We can say who those are. Let me pull up TikTok. So it looks like our final 4 for TikTok is going to be Mary Poppins.
Mary Poppins made it past its matchup with Pete's Dragon?
Yeah, a long time ago. Mary Poppins.
Landslide.
And that's in the classic 1950s and 70s. And the remakes and modern era category, the Muppets took out Saving Mr. Banks.
That's a
Wow.
crime.
So the Muppets will be going against Mary Poppins.
Okay.
Over in the
Poor Muppets are going down.
Muppets
over in
already
the-
took out one Mary Poppins. Is it going to do it again?
Can they take out 2? Over in the family era, which is 80s and 90s, we had, is that the right one? Yeah, we had the Santa Claus versus the recent Parent Trap, and Santa Claus took them out, so they'll advance to face. Over in the Blockbuster era, it was Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl versus Princess Diaries, and Pirates of the Caribbean Advance. So Pirates will face Santa Claus. The Muppets will face Mary Poppins. I think I had Pirates and Mary Poppins going to the final 4. I did not have the Santa Claus or the Muppets. So when I looked at it in the very beginning. So a couple upsets there. So we'll get those up. And then obviously we'll be able to talk about the winners by the next time we record. But then we'll also go through our bracket and
Yes.
see who as a show will be the winner. There's 3 of us, so there won't be any ties. It'll be 2-1 or 3-0.
It might be 1-2.
It could be 0-3. You are correct. How did I know that was going to be James?
I like how Jason just kind of rolls his eyes. Like, yeah, whatever.
How about no?
All right. So we're going to get out of here for tonight. Cody and James are going to head out and watch the first matchup in the Golden Knights and Mammoth NHL playoff series. I did want to ask Cody who he's rooting for because he came from Vegas, was a Golden Knights fan. I know moved up to Utah where the Mammoth came from Phoenix. They used to be the Coyotes, or I don't know if it's Arizona or Phoenix was their official name, but they were the Coyotes.
Arizona Coyotes.
Arizona, okay. Moved up to Salt Lake and became the Mammoth, which, have you seen their new Zamboni? That is very cool.
That is pretty cool.
Yes.
I have to admit that Zamboni is pretty freaking awesome.
So we were at work talking about it, which teams could have some cool Zambonis. Some of them you can't. I mean, you can have colors, but like Mammoth was a cool one. I think the guy brought up the Kraken. It could be like an octopus kind of going, theme thing. But
the Sabres.
The Sabres, yeah. But teams like the Dallas, what are they? The Stars. You can't really. I mean, you can paint it a certain color, but some of them just didn't fit.
Dallas is a stupid team, anyways.
As far as what the Mammoth did. So, who you rooting for, Cody?
I mean, obviously, I won't be upset with the outcome because one of the two teams that I do follow will advance. But I'm a Golden Knights fan through and through.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
I am rooting for the Golden Knights, but if somehow the Mammoth pull it off, then it's a job well earned, you know, and I will root for the Mammoth as long as they can stay in it. So
yeah, I have to talk to my friend also who lives up there in Syracuse because they came from Vegas. It's Barry from the Fantasy Football League, James. They were big Knights fans. Yeah, but they have season tickets to the Mammoth.
That's because that's the team that's close.
That's close, yeah. So,
but I mean, I am from Vegas,
right. And his wife
Vegas will always be my home.
His wife posted a bunch of Mammoth stuff, so it might be she's going for the Mammoth, and maybe he's going for the Knights. So, we'll see.
I've got
in the text
Golden Knights magnets on my car, and license plate frame.
All right. Yep. Well, let's get out of here then.
It's 7 minutes in and it's still 0-0.
All right. Well, let's get out of here so they can go watch their show. If you check out our show notes, you can find the link to our Linktree site, which will have all of our social media sites as well as our website, talkingdisneypodcast.com, as well as all of our contact info if you want to shoot us an email about anything show related or whatever. So check out the show notes and you'll get the link tree because I don't remember what it ever is. It's weird. Cody,
linktr.ee/Talking Disney Podcast.
Why they put the dot there, I don't know, but they did. So, all right, that's all we got. If you go to our YouTube channel and watch our last episode 205. Watch the whole thing, but at the end of the episode, at this same point in time where we're talking about our social media and our link tree, there is a QR code. Oh, okay.
So,
all right.
Use the QR code to go to our YouTube to find the QR code.
Yeah, and then save it in your favorites. So,
yes.
All right. Well, until I think that's all we got. No more breaking news that I saw.
Nope.
Check out our next episode where we're going to do our movie tournament. And thanks for checking out this episode and all our previous episodes, whichever you have done.
Yes. Thanks for listening.
And until next time, we will talk to you later. Bye.
See you.
See you real soon.